It's 4 o'clock on a Monday, and you know what that means, don't you? It's time for another exciting episode of Taxi TV Live. Woohoo! This week, starring Taxi Road Rally attendees tell all. I mean, everything, every last little detail. And thank you, fake band. Thank you, fake audience. And welcome, real guest.
Oh, thank you, sir.
This is Mr. Bill Gordon, who's been a Taxi member for about 34 years.
Yeah, well, wait a minute, Taxi wasn't here then. Yeah, pretty much since the beginning. Yeah.
And gosh, I've known Bill forever. He's an incredibly talented pianist. Jazz is his thing, but he does other stuff as well. He has had a zillion placements in film and TV. He has been hooked up with many of our best publishers, and they all adore him. But more importantly, he's probably been to more Taxi Road rallies than any other single person. By the way, that's the camera over there. I keep looking at it over here, but that's
okay.
See that little head? That's our dude.
Yeah, I was going to ask who that is.
Yeah. Let's welcome some. Oh, look at that. The chat room filled right up. We've got Dan, Gloria, Marion, Amanda, McCall Music, Tom Hoy, Justin Mather. Hey, Justin, thanks again for that Neil Young album. That was really sweet. He brought me a sealed vinyl copy of Rust Never Sleeps.
Get out of here.
Oh, I engineered on that,
cool.
So he brought me one to the rally. I thought that was really sweet. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Justin. I am running on less than fumes today. Just to let you know, we just finished the road rally last night around 6:30. 3.5 days, in my opinion, of awesomeness. And so today's show is going to be 5 different Taxi members. Actually, that's not true. I'm lying already, and the show's only 2 minutes old. 5 different people. This one, Bill, he is an actual Taxi member. Then a young lady and her mom, they're members. And then after that, another member, and then a couple, somebody who's a guest. Anyway, you're going to get a perspective on the road rally from several different people, several different perspectives. So, what else can I tell them about you? Used to live in Miami. Recently moved to Baltimore.
Back to Baltimore.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And how many road rallies have you been to?
Well, I have been to all 23 of them.
And do you know that in the beginning, when right before I introduced Jonathan Cain, I asked how many people have been, this is their first road rally when I was in the Grand Ballroom, and we got about 60% of the hands went up that this was their first rally.
Yeah, there were a lot of newbies this year.
And then I said, how many have been to, more than one road rally? Got a bunch of hands. And I said, how many people have been to all 23? Bill Gordon, are you in the room? And you weren't.
Yeah, I was
tending the line.
I actually had stopped I was getting from breakfast into the ballroom, and
Did everybody say, Michael just mentioned your name when you walked in?
I thought, oh man, I missed my moment.
You did.
Once again,
you could have stood up on a chair and said, here I am.
That's right, here I am, right? But Matt Hurt also, until this one, had been to
every single one of them. Yeah, but now Matt is in Switzerland. So we actually had Matt join us on stage using WhatsApp. So he actually did attend this one just for a very short amount of time and only
That's great.
Telephonically.
Yeah, we still talk about the very first rally, Woodland Hills.
Yeah.
And how it was small, but it had that same great road rally vibe to it.
So, let's talk about the road rally vibe, because to be honest, the whole thing is a little embarrassing to me. I cherish the rally. I cherish the members that go. I love the fact that it's got nobody ever really believes it until they see it and experience it.
Sure.
Like, how can it be that good? How can it be that warm and wonderful, and everybody is supportive, and it's not a bunch of posers wearing like a leather codpiece standing around like, I'm so much better than you. None of that stuff.
Right.
What up?
I don't know. I really, and again, I will probably embarrass you a little deeper here.
Don't.
I think the consensus is that it comes from the top down. I think it's it's the reason that you founded Taxi in the first place, was to help those of us who've been working musicians to get our foot in the door, and then to get into the room itself, and doing it in a way that is. That's just, I so often say, Taxi is one of the few entities I know in the music industry where I can use the word honorable in that same sentence, and that, right? And it's been like that, and that whole vibe, the whole support vibe, and I have been. See, how many years have I done that thing where I say hello to everybody on that Thursday night line where there are 1,500, 2,000 people there?
Well, and that's an exaggeration. No, that's an outright lie, Bill.
Oh, okay. How many people? There are a lot of people on that line.
It was probably somewhere closer to 1,000 that night.
Okay, seemed like there might have been more.
There were a lot. The road rally attendance was way up this year, I gotta say. And Bill is like our Walmart greeter. He is just such a friendly soul, and instills. So it's all of this stuff. You know what?
I'm much better than the Walmart greeter.
Well, I mean, he stands at the front of the line saying that person's available, and he directs people to the next registration station, which was really hard to say when you've had no sleep for 90 days.
Yeah, man, say it again.
Registration station.
But I have come to really like working that line, and I do. Almost every person I say, welcome to the road rally, where are you from? And then I have to direct them to whoever the person is open to send them to for the registration. But the vibe on that line is almost without exception. People are so thrilled to be there. Yeah. And this year there were a lot of newbies. I would say probably 60-70% of the people there.
I would agree with that number.
Yeah, and they just are so happy to be there, and they want to know what's going to happen, and I say it's just you have a great time. And when I see them in the later days of the rally, I will ask them, how's everything going? Oh, this is great. This is even better than I thought it was going to be. And how does Taxi do this? And all the staff is so good, and everyone's so helpful, and the panel they're just gushing.
They're literally effusive.
They are.
Hard to imagine 2,500 people in one hotel that are all being effusive about the same thing, but they are. I'm not exaggerating that.
No, and
neither is Bill.
No, and I've seen it. I saw it at the first rally, and I've seen it at every single one. And the rallies have all been great. They've all been wonderful. And some of them, they sort of go up to another place. This one, especially. The way that it started with Jonathan Cain from Journey. Yep. What a way to start the thing. And then closing with Ken Caillat.
Caillat.
Oh, yeah. I keep wondering, is it French or what? Caillat, right?
I haven't asked him yet, but I would put my money on French.
Yeah, and hearing all this backstory about Fleetwood Mac, and hearing these tracks, and hearing the vocals sold, and it was just that, and everything in between was just so. It couldn't have been better. It was great. And again, I've been doing this for a couple of 100 years, this whole music thing, and it's still a thrill. And I've had very little sleep, and I've been the social part of my brain has been taxed to the point where it's barely functioning. Who are you, by the way?
Right.
And so
nice to meet you as well.
Yeah, right. So, but it's really people really they're grooving on it, and one of the things I really like about in the last couple of years, if someone has a question, it's almost always now a really solid question. It's not some vague thing. They want to know exactly what happens. There's a thing called the meet and greet, a big lunch thing where people go around. There are a lot of us who are there as mentors, and one of the questions, well, how does it work? You submit something, and then it's screened, and then if it's right on, and it's good enough, it gets sent forward, and then how the whole process works. And people love hearing about that. They're taking notes and everything.
They're members, and they're asking that.
They're brand new. There's so many newbies.
Wow.
So
they signed up before they even really understood the process.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think they're also eager, and they're just so enthusiastic about the whole thing, and again, they're all just bubbling about this, this enthusiasm about the whole
funniest thing to me.
It's a love fest, man.
It is a love
fest. Really is.
Nobody can really fully understand it nor believe it unless you've been there. That's really people.
Yeah.
I got an email today from a guy that said, I've heard all the great stuff about the road rally. I expected it to be good. I didn't expect it to be this off the charts great.
Sure.
And I mean, you know what? It starts in the registration line. Somebody who has worked for a competing conference said to me late Thursday night, he said, you really should consider, because the registration line is hours long. It's like 3 hours long. You don't have to get in it. People show up very early, like, 8 a.m., 6 a.m. on registration day, when registration opens at 5. But they show up way early because they want to be first in line so that they can get the one-to-one mentor of their choice. So you don't have to do that. You don't have to get a mentor. You don't have to show up that early. You could show up at 4:45 and jump in line, and that way you'd only spend probably, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes in line. But here's the method to our madness. So this gentleman, who's very familiar with putting on big conferences, says to me, the vibe here is off the hook amazing. He said, everything I've ever heard about the Road Rally, you can feel it, you can sense it, you can see the joy in people's faces. However, I've had a couple people complain about the line being hours long, and I just told him what I told you guys. And we do it for a reason, and the reason is people hang out in that line, and they build friendships in a network of people before they ever get out of the line. So they go into the conference already having made friends with people, which is the big fear for a lot of newbies. I'm going to fly to Los Angeles all by my lonesome. Of course, you can bring a guest for free if you're a member. And I'm going to go in there, and I'm going to be afraid. Are people going to be jerks to me? Am I going to, be a wallflower? How am I going to get my stuff heard? And then they hang out in the line, and they go, wow, these people are cool.
Well, actually, I've had a lot of people over the years, because, again, I've worked that line for, 8 or 10 years, maybe?
Easily,
and I was taller and had a head full of hair when I started.
That's right, I remember that fro.
You remember that, right? You remember my fro, right? So there are people who, this year especially, were saying, I got here and I really felt sort of intimidated and overwhelmed, and then I started talking to these people behind me and these people across the way, and we're all exchanging these ideas and our backgrounds, and now I feel really comfortable and very excited to be here, which is how and I would say that's how you want to feel, because it's great.
People don't want to go home at the end of the weekend.
I used to fly back. I would take the red eye back to Miami on Sunday night, and I did that maybe. Okay, I've done 23 of these. I would say I did it with 3 or 4. And then I said, okay, I'm not doing that anymore, because the Sunday night thing, as the whole thing winds down, it's a terrible thing to leave. You've met all these people, and it's like, oh no.
Right, Sunday night after the conference is over. Last night there were about 400 people in the lobby of that hotel. And those are all the people flying home Monday. That's my 2-minute warning. We've only got 2 more minutes left before the next guest comes in. Anything, any observations from you about your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, anything like that you would want to share with our audience?
Well, the least favorite part is when the whole thing winds down, but the way you shape it with the keynote interview and these really special people who bring in, like the gentleman who produced Fleetwood Mac. But also for me, I do workshops in audio media schools, and so it's my annual booster shot of technology, what's happening. There's a woman named Robert Fredericks who does this great song deconstruction class, which every year, it changes, and popular music is changing faster than ever. So now I can go back and I can take that to my students when we're deconstructing songs. And it's also great for me because invariably I meet people and make new contacts in terms of music libraries. And this year, you gave me so much warning. What was it, a week? You said you were going to have these jam sessions.
Oh, yeah.
And
but you didn't really need to prepare anything, as you found out.
Well, not really, but at the same time, because a jam session like that, where it's just like people coming in, it can go many ways.
What Bill's talking about is we used to have 2 open mics every night for 3 nights at the rally. This year we decided to do a jam room, and we took about a 500-seat ballroom and turned it into a club with a pretty decent-sized stage and a full back line. And I had Bill do one night as kind of the jam leader. One of our other guests today, Ravi Hancock, was the jam leader another night, and then another gentleman who's kind of a dirty white boy, greasy, bluesy guitar player. Well, he is. I mean, seriously, that dude could play with any blues master. I mean, he's the shiz.
He is nasty. It's wonderful.
He is. Anyway, want to let you know that the jam worked out, and Bill did a great job running it.
Well, I sort of had to do nothing. It was a great gig for me, And the bands, these bands would kind of gel. I would call people up. I need a bass player. We need a drummer. We need a keyboard player. And most of the bands, when they got into a groove, the groove would do this wonderful, rare thing. Within 30 seconds or so, they would just focus. And they would find this pocket. And it was just, and there were people in the back of the room. The room got more and more filled as the night went on, which was a good sign. And there was this group of people who started yelling out, "Hey man, we'd pay good money to see this."
Right. Well, it's because we've got so many A-level musicians.
They were great.
You have 2,500 people at a conference that are all musicians. You're bound to have a few that
It was stunning, the level of
good.
musicianship. I've always known that it's great, but it was a great thing to be a part of. So,
well, I'm really glad that you've been doing it for so many years, and I really appreciate you schlepping up here after the road rally to join me for the show today.
Happy to do so, and I hope that we get some sleep sometime soon.
Absolutely, brother. Great to see you.
Great to see you.
When are you heading home?
Wednesday.
Okay,
we're
well,
going to take care of a couple of things. And thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. And
I loved having you.
Thanks for doing the taxi thing. All right, man.
Thanks,
Later.
Bill. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Bye-bye now.
Bill Gordon, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah! Woo-hoo! Hello, Amalia. Is your mom going to join us on camera?
Yeah.
If you want to, grab that chair and scoot on in. We may have to do a little camera tweaking. Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome to the big
Thank
show.
you.
And scoot as close to me as you can possibly get. And yeah.
We're just a little.
Pull that back about 4 inches. Perfect. Yay. I have not been introduced to your mom, so I don't know your name yet.
Dawn Feuerberg.
Hi, Dawn.
Yeah, nice
Dawn.
to- yeah, Dawn,
D-A-W-N.
yes.
Okay, great. So, you're good. Yeah, we are good. That's actually a good shot. So, how did you like the road rally?
I thought it was amazing.
Yeah?
I've never been to anything like that. And
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
17.
Okay, so you've never been to like a songwriter's night or anything like that?
I've gone to like songwriting competitions, and I've been to the Central Coast Music Convention in my hometown,
Right.
but nothing at this scale and this professional. So
Was
awesome.
it intimidating or anything, or did you feel comfortable?
I felt so comfortable.
Yeah.
There wasn't a part of me that was like scared to be there. Everyone was really welcoming, and yeah, it was a great experience.
As her mom, I actually have a daughter who not that many years ago was 17 and a singer-songwriter, and she kind of grew up being a little road rally brat running around all the time when she was a kid, like 10 years old. Anyway, my wife was always very protective of her because there would be people at the road rally, you know, that if they didn't know she was my daughter, she actually went under another name because she didn't want people to know. And like, trying to find the right way to say this. Even I heard during the road rally, as busy as I was, ooh, this young lady's really talented, so good for you.
Thank you.
Did you feel like you had to protect her from the crowd at all, or insulate her from, you know, or
Not
just,
at all.
Good.
It's an incredible organization.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, we felt extremely comfortable. You could tell there was no one there with any attitude, and just watching your staff too. I mean, it was
Weren't they spectacular?
Spectacular.
They
really.
solve so many problems
Yeah.
to keep people from finding out all the little things that are breaking behind the scenes. I'm very proud of them. Because,
Yeah,
of course,
and-
anytime you do a conference for that many people, you have things that go wrong.
And I always tell Amalia it's about the people you meet and the feeling you feel with them. And I had no idea you existed, and we're so grateful to Chad Land for bringing us up
Oh,
here
that's right.
and opening the door, because we would have not have known about this. And he kind of gave us an in into your organization, and we're very grateful to have met you and all your staff, because
Thank you.
they were amazing.
Well, thank you for saying that, and I really do appreciate it, because a lot of people still wonder, is that company for real, even though we've been around for 27 years? Clearly we are, and people that come to the road rally go, wow, they're not only real, they're amazing, if I can be a little immodest. But
Yeah.
what kind of music do you do?
Alternative pop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me some bands that would be on a playlist with you.
Oh, I love Billie Eilish
Okay.
and James Blunt and Ellie Goulding.
Ooh, I love Ellie.
Yeah, I love all those.
And how old were you when you started writing and performing?
I wrote my first song at 9 years old. It was
Wow.
actually called "I Don't Know How to Write a Song."
There you go.
Yeah, that was my first song that I put together, and it was
Yeah.
a finished product. Yeah.
How many songs a year are you writing at this stage in your life, your young life?
Yeah, I probably finish about 4 or 5 a year, but I have so many that are just ongoing. I got like 30 that I just
Are
finish
you,
them.
are you using GarageBand or Pro Tools or anything at home?
My dad has a home studio,
Oh,
and
okay.
we use Logic, and he helps me record, but I've also been recording with Chad Land in San Luis Obispo.
Right.
Yeah, which has been great.
What's your favorite part of songwriting, lyrics or melody? Or you know what? Let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
Which comes easiest to you?
It really depends. I feel like more melody. But when I write, and sometimes I start with the lyrics, sometimes I start with the title, sometimes I start with the melody. So it really changes. Yeah.
Do you ever co-write with other people?
I have.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's a guitarist, and we worked on a song together, and it totally changed my writing style, which I loved.
How so?
It was just, I mean, he's an incredible guitarist, and I play guitar, but I've been trying to get better at playing and taking lessons, but he had all these riffs, and that just changed the way I wrote music over it and the melody.
Opened up your mind to, filling in the blanks, like while you're writing?
Yeah.
Cool. Was that my 2-minute warning? Oh, good. I was going, man, that really flew by. Let's see. Oh, did you have an agenda or a goal when you made the decision to come to the rally? What were you looking to get from it?
Just the next steps in my career. I want to be a professional singer-songwriter, and I was told to just, say what you want. Don't be too humble about it, and say that, if you want to be a star, I want to be a star.
Absolutely.
And that was probably the best advice I've gotten, because I've always been kind of timid, like, oh yeah, like this is what I want to do, sort of. But now
Well,
I'm
you've
like,
got a
you know
great
what?
personality. I
Yeah.
can't imagine you being timid. You're pretty articulate.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you. Yeah. So, but I came just wanting to know exactly what I wanted to do, and learn more about the industry, what it feels like just being able to talk to people with more experience than me, and learn, do I go to college? Do I go into the industry? What am I going to do? So I got some great answers.
What's the plan? Are you going to go to college or not?
Yes, I think I am going to. Yeah.
And are you going to go to college near your folks so you can live at home and still work on your music? Or are you going to go somewhere and record in your dorm? How are you going to pull it all off?
Right now I'm applying because I'm a senior, and all the schools that have songwriting or popular music are spread out all over the country. So wherever I get in, I'll decide if that's where I want to be.
Well, if you want to see your mom get really ticked off at me, may I recommend the University of Miami, which is
I have heard of that, yeah.
It's my alma mater, and they've got a great music school. Actually, USC has an incredible.
I'm applying there. Mm-hmm.
I know the guy that runs that department, Chris Sampson, and I think the world of him. Give me $10,000, I'll get you in. I'm kidding. I'm only kidding. But no, I've actually spoken there, and I've gone to some of their events, and
that's one of my top.
It's very professional. I love everything about it. Frankly, 10 years ago, before meeting Chris and getting involved with that program a bit, I would have said to any songwriter, don't go to college for songwriting, because you'll move forward much faster on your own by reading Robin Frederick's books, going to things like the Road Rally, just immersing yourself in all that other stuff. If you've already got the drive, you don't need a professor writing stuff on a whiteboard to show you. Yeah. But I've got to say, everything about the USC program really impressed me. So
yeah, and I mean, I was also told to consider taking a gap year by a lot of the mentors that I spoke with, and a lot of people had very similar opinions. A lot of people said that you don't need a degree in the music industry, but you will get connections, and you'll meet people, and you'll grow as an individual and as a musician. And, that's what I really want.
What do you think, Dawn?
Well, I've just been supporting her, whatever she wants to do, and I think I would be open to having a gap year if that's what she wants. I think she's at a place where she's writing all the time, and she could focus, especially if she goes to more rallies, and she's really self-motivated. In fact, she's just like, she says she doesn't have enough time to sing every day and do guitar because of school. So I think it might be a good idea.
Our daughter, who's a singer-songwriter, actually homeschooled for all of high school so she could work on her music. And basically, she sat in her bedroom with an acoustic guitar on her bed for 4 years. Barely did any schoolwork. But I got to say, she started getting the occasional co-write with like pro writers and stuff. She was advancing pretty quickly because she was self-educating. She was not unlike you at all. She was. She knew what she wanted. She knew how she was going to go after it. She familiarized herself with all the top writers in the industry and their stories of how they became successful. And it was working out quite well until she moved to another country 8,000 miles away. Yeah.
It's an exciting time.
Yeah. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I do. I have a little sister. She actually came to the road rally.
Oh, man.
She was there with my dad. They went home a little early, but she's 13, and she writes as well.
Wow.
I'm trying to get her to write with me, which we've been interested in doing. And, so maybe that'll come after road rally.
Do you have any skills on Logic at all yet?
My dad will set it all up and leave it there for me, and I know how to press record and know how to stop.
Because that was the one thing my daughter's pretty good with tech, but she never learned. I mean, she can do GarageBand blindfolded, but she never got beyond that. And it hindered her because she would have ideas and she would do everything on an acoustic guitar. And sometimes she'd want to write like dancey poppy stuff.
I want to learn how to do that.
So, just like strumming on acoustic guitar doesn't get you very far down that road. So if I may give you a piece of advice, learn how to run Logic yourself.
Yeah.
So that you're not dependent on your dad. And anytime you've got an inspiration, you can just go with it. You don't have to become a master of it, but good enough to get your ideas down.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Was there anything about the road rally that really stuck out for you? I mean, like, what was your favorite panel or best advice you got?
I love the one-to-one mentor sessions.
Who did you get?
I got Prescott Niles. And
he's a trip, isn't he?
He was awesome. And Rob Chiarelli.
Awesome.
Ron Harris.
Wow.
Yeah, I got a lot of great people, and I got to do the one-to-one mentor with Rob Chiarelli, and that was the meet and greet that I was just talking about. But the one-to-one mentor was with Rob Chiarelli, and that was great. He got to listen to my music. And
he's my best friend.
That's what he said.
Yeah, we live 4 houses away from each other and spend holidays together and stuff. So you got a good one,
yeah, he is awesome.
Yeah, he's very cash. He's like not high pressure. He's just a very regular guy.
Yeah, that's great.
Who happens to have like 100 gold and platinum records on his wall with virtually every major artist in the industry.
He's super encouraging. It's just a very positive experience for all of us. Our whole family there. We sat all 4 of us in front of him. Wow. Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but yesterday afternoon when I did the panel with Nate and Kaylee and Rob, Rob's wife and 2 kids came. And
really?
He's got a daughter who is going to say 20.
He spoke to us about her a little bit.
She'll turn 20, I think, on January 1st. She was a New Year's baby. And I've watched his kids. He's been grooming them, in a band. I kid him that he's always like the Jackson 5 father. He's very demanding with his own kids. And for a long time, I was like, Rob, you're really being demanding, but it's paid off because he's taught them a work ethic of no matter how frustrated you are or how down you get, to smack it away.
Going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad that you got him because he knows how to encourage young people.
Yeah, he gave me some great advice about going to college.
What did he say? I'm curious.
Yeah, he said that he's kind of was supporting both ways, but he said that it's really important, he thinks, to go to college, get the degree, and just still produce. Follow your career while you're in college.
Right.
And I pursue that, which was great. And
well, his daughter took a gap year.
Yeah, that's what he was telling me. He was one of the people that said that would be great.
So if he gave you advice other than that, I would let you know. He's full of it. Hear that, Rob? Any final thoughts? Anything that you didn't get from the rally that you were hoping to get? Any unanswered questions I can answer for you? Because I know everything.
Right.
Just saying.
No, I mean, I went to so many sessions and I took notes, and I know exactly what I want to do when I get back home.
Or you like dying to get home to...
Exactly. You got college applications, but
Right.
after that, get on it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, cool. I'm really, really glad that you came. And
Yeah, thank you for having
I
us.
wish you luck, having watched Rob's daughter go through this and my daughter go through it before she bailed and moved 8,000 miles away. But don't worry, Hannah. I still love you. All right. Well, thank you for coming and joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
You are so welcome, Dawn.
Yeah, thank
Pleasure
you
to meet
so
you
much.
as well.
It was lovely. Thank you.
I can't wait to have you guys back next
Yes,
year.
can't wait.
Yeah.
We'll
great.
be back.
Does somebody on the staff have any of your music so I can check it out?
They do.
Okay.
Yes, I think so.
Any idea?
Ariana.
Oh, you've got it. Okay, great. All right. Well, with that, I will say adios and see you in a year, 362 days, 24 hours, and 16 minutes, or whatever it is, till the
That
next
sounds
road rally.
great. All
Great.
right, thank
Have
you.
a safe
you.
trip
Nice
home,
to
you
see
guys.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And now it's time for our next guest. Yeah, baby. Welcome, Mr. Ravi Hancock. Woohoo!
About that thing. Hey,
Hey, Robbie, how are you,
doing,
man? And thank you for that.
cool.
Well, here you are. You've made
Yeah.
the big time. You're on
All
Taxi
right.
TV.
I am, yes.
Oh, yes. Ariana's being my camera person. Not man, but person. Good job. It's well framed. Move it this way 1/4 of an inch. Perfection. Thank you.
Perfect.
Or as we say in Hollywood, woof.
Okay.
They do. When you've
Okay.
moved the camera far enough, you have to say woof.
Okay.
And while we're on a short commercial break, subscribe to the channel.
Nice.
Click the little bell thing so you get alerts. Woo! And like us because we're in Los Angeles and we need all the liking we can get.
Hey,
Hi.
guys. I can see everyone.
Oh yeah, the chat room.
Hey, man.
That's right. You know everybody. Snoop Robbie Rob. Woo!
What up?
So, wow, this was a rally,
That was amazing.
and thank you. I called Robbie, I don't know, 10 days ago, maybe, not very far in advance of the rally, and I
Yep.
said, so I'm doing this thing called the Jam Room this year. We don't really have much of a plan other than we're putting a backline and a stage and some lights in there. And each night we want to have somebody that acts as like a host, invites people. Come on, man, don't be shy. Get up here and jam. And Robbie was a little trepidatious, as were the other two people that I asked to host the evenings. And just say it out loud right now. Michael, you were right.
Michael, you were right.
It worked
Yes.
out great, I heard.
It
I
was
was barely
great.
in there, but
I feel like you chose the right three.
yeah.
And we had a blast all 3 nights. And I especially really appreciate you letting me break the ice for everyone.
Oh, man, I appreciate you doing it because,
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't know. We really, I just knew that if we had great instruments, great guys on the PA, our audio crew just rocks it at the road rally. And, I mean,
Yeah,
look
shouts
how-
out to Ted. He's
Yeah.
an awesome guy. Yeah.
Ted Nelson, we love you.
Yeah.
But it would be hard for that to fail with having 2,500 musicians, in one hotel. You got to figure 10% of them are really high-end players.
At that caliber, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd forgotten about that going into it, but it ended up working out great. There's 3 or 4 bands that formed that were incredible, and especially some guy that sounded like Michael Jackson at the end.
Really?
Yeah, he was great. I got his card.
Yeah.
In case you want it. But yeah, it was great, and everybody cooperated and was respectful, and it was great.
Where did you pick up that southern accent?
Oh, down south, man, of course.
Robbie's Canadian. And he's a singer-songwriter. Tell him a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm an indie folk singer-songwriter from Victoria, BC, Canada, and came into a Taxi as a songwriter. And to now, most of what I'm working on is cues, tension cues and acoustic roots cues, and
So instrumental stuff.
a
Wow.
lot of instrumental stuff.
Why did you make the decision to go over to the dark side?
Well, because that's what a lot of the library owners and publishers were asking for,
Yeah.
and it's something that I felt that I could do, and I started, from the first year, not trying to be everything to everybody,
Right.
and zeroing in on certain things that I really felt were my strengths. So acoustic guitar and tension cues ended up being great for me, and I just kind of went from there.
Was it hard making the transition? I mean, not that you've stopped writing songs or recording
I'm still doing
them,
that 'cause I love it, yeah.
but thinking, writing cues, it's a different mindset. The purpose of what the music is going to get used for. Typically, instrumental cues probably most famously get used on reality shows all the time. And so you've got to think differently. Like, you got to think about mood. You got to think about the energy. You got to think about the forward momentum that the cue has. Did it take you long to learn those things?
It did, but with the help of Dean Cripain's book,
Right.
Demystifying the Cue.
Great book, by the
Oh
way.
yeah, that really kind of it was like a roadmap for edit points and short intros, button endings, how long they should be, 1.5 to 2 minutes, and ABA kind of format, and it's a bit different than songs.
Yeah.
But I had to work at it, and I think doing the work really kind of paid off. It took some time, but I think working at things every day, it eventually will pay off for you.
And have you noticed, because I tell people, and I want to know if your experience is, if I'm lying or I'm not lying, I always tell people that are hardcore songwriters and they're trepidatious about working on instrumental cues, like, that's factory-like, it's not creative. I contend that you become faster and better with your gear, with choice of instrument sounds, and ultimately that goes back to making you a better writer, producer for your songs.
Absolutely.
So you have found that. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Like, just talking to somebody about this, and playing really quickly on acoustic guitar, and then taking that in, adding reverb and washing it out, and adding a Nicky Romero plugin, for example, really changing things up and putting it in the background, and ended up making an acoustic pad for a singer-songwriter song, and then ended up getting that song signed.
Wow.
To make it that's how I made it unique.
How long have you been doing music for TV and film now?
This is my 7th rally, and I love the rally, Michael, and thanks for everything that you do.
Oh, you're
You
so
need to
welcome.
Get that in there.
So
7 years, yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
and what would you've been to a lot of them, so I don't know if this is applicable to you or not, but I just asked a young lady that was in here before you if she had a goal in mind when she went to the rally. Do you have a goal when you go every year, or do you just let nature take its course now because you're kind of an old hand?
Yeah, you're calling me old.
I said old hand, not old
hand.
man.
No. So this year, it's funny you say that, because I came into it. I didn't actually choose a mentor this year.
Wow.
I came in. I kind of had a different mindset. This
What
year, I
was
really
it?
ended up. Well, I wanted to start giving back, actually, Michael.
Yeah. So
I
you're
spent a lot of time with-
altruistic.
I spent a lot of time with a lot of the new members, and I skipped some of the classes. Not that I didn't want to go to them, but it just ended up having these conversations with people, and just kind of turned into a lot of questions. And then I realized I'm starting to get to the position where I can help other people. And I feel like that's important because of the amount of amazing people that helped me out in the early days of the taxi rally and on the forums, of course. And so I felt like part of this rally for me was giving back.
Well, thank you for that, because there's still some doubting Thomases out there, and people hear about the road rally and go, yeah, I keep hearing all this stuff about how friendly and welcoming and giving, and everybody's helping everybody, and nobody believes it because you just don't find that, excuse me, in many other places, certainly not most music conferences. But I'm glad that you brought that up, because I know you well enough now to know that that's your nature, and I've kind of watched you grow up within the system, if you will.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool that you're doing it, because it is a pay it forward spirit that just is imbued. The entire rally is like that.
Yeah, it is. And one of the great tips I got was from James Koshin, who has been a great mentor for me. he told me that going on to Taxi Forum, there's a search function in taxi forums that you can go into, and you basically just ask any question that you might have, and it'll pop up with a thread with people like Matt Hurt, some of the senior members that have already answered those questions.
Right.
So he told me that, and I started doing that, and that's a big reason, like, how I started getting better at things. And also, I watched every back episode of Taxi TV.
Wow.
I think I've told you that, but anyway, I'm reminding you.
And now he's going to watch this one like 100 times because look at that face, people. Oh, man, I totally lost what I was going to say.
Let's go.
About the forum. I'm really glad you brought that up. And
Where
here's
do I
why.
look, by the way?
That head over there.
The head there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got a little like doll head glued to the camera.
The bobblehead.
Yeah, so we know where to look.
Okay. It's cool being on this end.
Yeah. Pretty exciting being in the studio. Huh?
Taxi TV.
So I have often contended that our forum in particular is better than social media. Social media is very immediate, but it's also fleeting. Stuff gets posted and it's gone, and to go back and find it is hard. Obviously you can hashtag stuff, but the thing about the Taxi Forum is it's like a living, breathing encyclopedia where layers upon layers upon layers keep getting added to the knowledge base, and the knowledge base changes as the times change. Mm-hmm. So it's this incredible repository of everything you could want to know from people like you who have figured it out. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's like, why wouldn't everybody use that? But people go, ooh, it's a forum, I'm on Facebook.
Well, I feel like there's three things. The forum is amazing, especially for new members. You should really spend a lot of time on there. And there's a lot of new members this year, too, that didn't even know about it, right? So It surprises me. But, again, it's like, sometimes people just need reminding and going on there and how valuable that is. And then, obviously, Taxi TV, watch all the back episodes. And then the rally, which is like, has been monumental for me.
How so?
Because I think I've told you this as well, but I only ever got one Ford that turned into a deal.
Right.
Everything else came from
the
relationships that I made at the rally, not only from other members, but also from members that have turned into publishers, and also from connecting with publishers, either pitching my material. Oh, by the way, I got my first song played on a panel. That's only took 7 years.
Oh, that's right. I was in the room. I think I might have been moderating that panel.
You were. Yes, you were. Yeah, super thankful for that. So
that's pretty darn cool.
But yeah, those three things, if you want to, improve on things, definitely, there's so much great information on Taxi TV and the past episodes, like the Val Garay. You remember doing that?
Yeah. Oh, I love that guy.
He's
Linda Ronstadt's engineer.
You and him, like every time you get a guest on here that is a production guest. Yeah. I will drop everything to watch those because there's just so much information there from your experience, of course. But Ronan Chris Murphy, Val Garay was the one that's where I have had the first light bulb of listening at low volumes, which is like I can actually spend another 3 hours at this point doing that.
I just want you to know that all of us who are over 50 years old that are all engineers, we've all got tinnitus, and we all lie about listening at low volumes, and I'm almost not joking about that. There you go. Because nobody listened at low volume back then, seriously. Yeah. And I just went to a reunion of all my coworkers from Criteria Studios where I worked, got my
Florida,
first,
right?
Yeah, 43 years ago, and I saw so many hearing aids. And it's pretty heartbreaking because we all had heard, don't listen loud, but did we pay attention? No.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite moment at this year's rally or a favorite thing that you went to or saw?
Colby's dad.
Colby's dad.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to edit that out. No, he actually is very proud of his daughter. Ken Caillat.
I'm being very Canadian now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Michael. I'm just sorry.
Especially West Coast Canadians. Man,
That's right.
Vancouver, you could kick everybody on the street in the shin and they'd apologize for getting their leg in the way of their foot.
I'm bleeding, but I'm sorry.
Right.
Ken Caillat.
Yeah.
Okay, you and him, maybe it was just where I was sitting, but, and the popcorn and everything was respectful, not dropping on the floor. But just the ambiance that you created and the two of you sitting there together and having that conversation and going back in those moments, even your stories, which were funny, by the way.
Don't repeat it on camera.
I'm not going to. Don't worry. But the him going through things and listening to the chain, and soloing, just like tambourine or, and I think that was the bookend song, right, where he talked about. They started with that one in the beginning, and
right.
in December
the last
they finished
one they finished it. Yep.
I mean, I just found that amazing, and that was definitely a highlight for me.
If you haven't read that book, the book is Making Rumors. I found it to be fascinating, maybe more than the average person on the street, maybe because I kind of lived that experience, but I thought that book was incredible, and I just had such joy in my heart interviewing him. I felt like my long-lost brother was there having a conversation.
Yeah,
I wasn't
feel
kidding
like
when I said this was for me, and you guys just got to sit there and take it all.
Yeah, for sure.
in.
Like, I really felt like a living room. And before that, you know what you always talk about, like maybe meeting a mentor in the bathroom. You never know what's going to happen. That's where I met Ken Caillat.
Really?
But I didn't shake his hand in there.
Good job.
I came out into the hall, and then it just so happened where I came up, and then I introduced myself and thanked him for everything that he's done, and then mentioned Robin. Yeah, Robin was a little under the weather this weekend, and then Robin used to be a babysitter and all that.
Yeah, she lived in their guest house, and she babysat Colby Caillat when she was a kid. Little kid.
And shouts out to Robin Frederick too. If you don't know who she is, I mean, she's incredible for songwriting, and definitely check out her books.
You are definitely
published by Taxis.
Yep, you are a disciple of Robin's, and I've watched you mature because of what you've learned from her, whether it's on
amazing.
Taxi TV or the books. By the way, just saying, she took her original book, which was a bestseller, Shortcuts to Hit Songwriting, and it was time for a revision. So rather than just simply revising the book, we actually split it into 3 books: Level 1, Level 2, Level 3, obviously beginning, intermediate, and expert. And she came up with a bunch of very current examples, and it's an ebook now. So you can buy the 3 ebooks for slightly under $30. So it's a great deal, and I'm really glad you mentioned that, because I know that you're one of her favorite students.
Oh, she's amazing. She's a wizard.
Yeah, she adores it.
She's
well,
awesome.
I can't thank you enough for coming by, and it was great to be with you at the rally. And,
Absolutely.
I've really enjoyed getting to know you more, and thank you again for hosting the jam night.
You're welcome.
I hope
Thanks.
it wasn't too stressful.
No, it's cool. Thanks for everything, Michael. Peace.
Right. Thanks,
man.
Robbie.
Cheers.
When are you heading home?
Tomorrow.
Okay, have a safe flight, all right?
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Talk to you
Robbie.
soon.
See ya. Ravi Hancock, ladies and gentlemen. Hello.
Hi,
Come on in, Savannah. How are you? And
How are
this
you
young
doing?
lady is Savannah Fillyaw. I got it right.
Yeah, you
Yay.
did.
Okay. Yeah. Welcome to the big show.
Thank
Hello.
you. Good to see you.
Good to see you. So tell us where you're from.
So I'm from San Diego, California.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
Not far.
Savannah, Georgia.
I know. I've actually never been there, but everyone
It's
thinks.
lovely. It is the coolest town in America.
Okay.
Really humid, very sticky, but just a ton of history, really nice people, incredible food, and if you like antiques, it's like the mother lode is there. Anyway, enough
I'll have
about
to
that. So this was your first road rally, right?
This is my second one.
Oh, second one.
I came
okay.
last year.
Yeah, and did you have like a mission when you come to the road rally? Do you come with a purpose, or do you just come and like whatever comes your way?
I come with just an open expectation to whatever's going to happen. This year in specific, I was really excited to reconnect with all the people I met last year at the
Right.
rally, which I made so many friends last year that I've been in touch with all year. So it's awesome to all meet back up there. And then just learn
Yeah.
from all of the panels and the events. And
Was there anything particular, any particular panel or class that stuck out?
I really loved the keynote ones
Oh,
at the end of each night.
Yeah, Jonathan Cain.
Yeah, Jonathan Cain and Ken Caillat and then the Highfields.
Yeah,
Those were amazing. And I loved that you shared the personal stories tied in with those too. It was really awesome. And I loved how enthusiastic you were interviewing everybody. But I really loved those. And my biggest takeaway from all those was just persistence and how that's the most important thing.
Jonathan Cain, man.
Yeah.
He's the keyboard player and songwriter in Journey, and wrote the seminal hit "Don't Stop Believing," among others, "Faithfully," and others I can't think of because I'm a little brain dead right now. But I've got to say, I was so excited to introduce you guys to him because I've been developing a relationship with him over the phone and email and texting now since like March. And I just knew in my heart that if I put him up there on the stage, he would hit it out of the park.
And he did.
Yeah, I was, even I was astonished at how good he was.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was so awesome, yeah.
He's very, very inspirational. Oh, wow. I'm looking, so you're like you're doing pretty well. You've shared the stage with artists such as Cam, Tyrone Wells, Howie Day. Oh, Howie Day and Kate Vogel both got their start with Taxi.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
As a matter of fact, Howie Day, we did a showcase for him in that theater on the second floor, like the little movie theater room where the open mic was.
Yeah.
We actually did a private showcase for Howie Day for about 20 major record labels right before he got signed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and Kate Vogel was a Taxi member, and I was leaving Nashville, and she and her parents were coming into Nashville, and they called me, and they said, would you meet with us? And I did. Met them at like a Denny's or something for breakfast, and they said, we trust you. Can you recommend a producer? And I said, I can, but you're going to think that you can't trust me because his name is Marshall Altman, and he's one of my closest friends. At the time, he was an A&R guy at Columbia Records, but also producing. And they said, no, we trust you. You wouldn't recommend somebody just because he's a friend. And they fell in love with Marshall. He fell in love with Kate, and I think he did her first, maybe even her second record.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And those are great records.
Yeah, I've got her demos. You were sitting like 12 feet away from her demos on the other side of that wall, right? I just saw it like a week ago.
That's so funny. I have a show coming up with her on the 23rd of this month.
Really? Would you tell her I said hi?
I will. I'll tell her. Yeah.
I love Kate. She's a good person.
She really is.
And her family is so incredibly supportive. Is your family supportive?
Very supportive. My dad actually was my guest at the rally.
Wow.
He just loves it.
Yeah?
So,
any musical talent in the family, or are you the first in a long line?
I'm the first.
Yeah?
Yeah. A lot of music enthusiasts, but...
Right. What do you listen to for, like recreational listening? What are your favorite acts?
I listen to a lot of Casey Musgraves.
Yeah?
I love her. I love James Taylor. I love Dan Fogelberg.
Whoa! I used to play coffee house gigs with Dan Fogelberg in the early 1969, 1970.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he made me look really bad. He did. He was awesome. I sucked.
That's so funny. Yeah, he's awesome. I love them. Brandi Carlile is a huge one I love right now. So
I can't believe you even know Dan Fogelberg.
Yeah.
I mean, that's mind-blowing to me.
That's so funny.
Wow. Let's see. Oh, you won Best Singer-Songwriter at Temecula Valley Music Awards in 2017. And you have a collection of songs placed with Warner Brothers TV Productions that has been used in TV shows such as...
Teen Titans Go and Unikitty.
Yeah, Unikitty. I watch it all the time.
You're the biggest fan.
Yeah. What is Unikitty? I've never even heard of that.
I hadn't heard of it till
until they gave you money, right? Oh. Then you started paying
exactly.
So, were there any disappointments for you at the Road Rally? Was there anything like, oh, I hope I can meet that person, and you didn't, or no?
Not at all. Only friends who couldn't make it.
Oh man.
But no disappointments. Only just amazing surprises.
Yeah.
Like the things I expected to happen and enjoy happened, and then so many more.
Can you think of any of the surprises?
Some surprises, in particular. No, my brain is like drawing a blank.
I'm looking at your hat. Did you steal this from Pharrell?
Thank you. No, I didn't. I didn't.
You don't look like a thief, but just checking.
That's so funny. Oh, one of the nice surprises was learning from Tiamo about the panel, the keynote concerts.
Yeah.
That was super inspiring.
I loved that guy's presentation.
It was amazing.
He's a very, very polished professional speaker, very motivational. I watched him and I thought, I don't want to get back on that stage after that dude walks off. He was a tough act to follow. I think he lives near you.
He does.
Yeah?
But I think he's moving. He said he's moving to Phoenix. So.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Less taxes.
Maybe.
Anything else that you can think of about the Road Rally? Any particular class you went to? Did you go to the eat and greet luncheons? Or
I didn't do those this year, but I want to next year. I heard great things about it.
It's loud, very boisterous. It's a little hard to hear, but inevitably people say, yeah, I met this producer there, or that collaborator there, or somebody took my CD and I ended up in a TV show because that's, so you should definitely do that.
Wow.
Did you do one-to-one mentors?
I did.
And who was your mentor?
I did one with Bobby Borg.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's a force of nature, isn't he?
Yeah, it was awesome. So, yeah, I just released some new music, so I thought that would be a good choice for marketing ideas.
Very good choice.
Yeah, he was super helpful.
Were you in the ballroom when he did that panel with Tony Van Veen from Discmakers?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was great.
I mean, those are all like pro marketers on that panel.
I'm there like with my notebooks taking all my notes. And
Yeah.
I have a to-do list like this long of all the things I want to do now that.
Well, we recorded
So
that
inspired.
panel, and I'm going to get it transcribed. So at some point, the edited transcription will end up in our newsletter. So
Oh,
keep your
great.
eyes open. Yeah.
I
so
love that.
yeah, all those notes, you can throw them away.
Okay, perfect.
Well, cool. I can't think of anything else to ask you, but you're a lovely young lady, and I wish you well. And I think that you're really smart to come to the Road Rally at this young age. And it sounds like you've got your focus and you've got a plan. And
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you for putting it all on. I
Oh,
mean, it's
you're
just
so welcome.
amazing. Ever since last year, I mean, I blocked these dates out right when it got announced because it's such an amazing event, and the spirit of community that's there is just,
Isn't it like,
it's unbelievable. It feels like summer camp.
I know,
With a bunch of
and
adults.
it's so hard to explain that to other people.
Yeah.
People literally don't believe that it could be that good.
I know.
And
And it is.
right?
It's
and
that good, yeah.
And the funny thing is, people come up to me on Thursday night and they say, "I'm having so much fun," and I say, "All you've done is stand in line." Thursday night is registration night, so
funny.
all they do is stand in line. But that line is magical.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
long, but it's magical.
You make best friends.
Yeah.
Throughout the rally, it's like, oh, hey, you
Right.
feel like it's family. So
It's funny.
Yeah.
Somebody said to me, "I think you should shorten that line." And I said, no, this is why the Road Rally is so incredibly friendly and helpful. It's because people do make best friends in line.
it's awesome. Yeah. So thank you for all that you do.
Well, thank you. And thanks for coming over.
Of
Thanks
course,
for
my
sticking around
pleasure.
and coming up for Taxi TV. Savannah Fillyaw, ladies and gentlemen. Bye, Savannah. Have a safe trip home. And next, come on in, have a seat.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm going to mess up your name, but I'm going to try really hard not to. It's Nowak?
Yeah, it's pretty close. Nowak.
Nowak.
Yes.
You said it better than I did, but then again, you own it. So anyway, Nowak Tangeris.
Yes.
Okay, yay, hi, welcome.
Hello.
Have you ever been on TV before?
I've been on some radio live streaming stuff back where I'm from.
Yeah, but have
But
you
not-
ever been
not
on,
like this.
Nothing
Not
is
quite
good.
like this.
Right. This is the big time. You've now reached the pinnacle of your career
Yeah.
by being on Taxi
I'm
TV.
happy to be here.
So, you're not a Taxi member yet, and you came as a guest. If my notes are correct, I believe you came as a guest. And what did you think you were getting yourself into before you came? And yeah, let's just start with that for now.
Well, I found out about it like a month and a half ago, and when I heard what it was all about, I was like, oh, I need to go check this out. It sounds pretty legitimate. And
Are you a singer-songwriter? Are you a producer? What do you do?
yes, I'm a full-time singer-songwriter performer. So I perform a lot in my area, and I also have a band.
Where
I
is your
perform with.
area?
San Luis Obispo.
Oh, okay.
So about. Are you familiar with it, or
Yeah.
is it? Yeah,
Yeah,
nice
it's
area.
gorgeous up there.
Not too. It's beautiful.
It's literally one of the prettiest places to live in all of America.
Oh, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
But so I have a band, and we play, a lot of the area in places in the area, and some of the festivals, and
The Garage East Wine Festival. Have you heard of that one?
oh, I haven't heard of that one.
Okay. Well,
maybe
if
I'll
you
have to look.
want to play at that one, I happen to know the guy who owns it and puts it on because he used to work here for like 10 years.
The answer is yes.
Okay. Yeah. That was the first place. It's now like they franchise it and they do it in several cities, but they do it in San Luis.
Oh wow. Oh nice. Well, I'll have to follow up on that.
So who are some of your influences as a writer and performer?
I like a lot of different music. There's not a genre of music I don't like something from. So I draw a lot of influence from a lot of places, but I would call my particular sound, Americana, folk rock, blues, country. Big influences are like, I get told all the time, Janis Joplin.
You cannot go wrong with Janis Joplin. And you know what? You performed in the Jam Room the other night, right?
I did.
I saw that.
A couple Janis songs.
I saw that and I went, not bad, girlfriend.
Nice.
I mean,
Thank you.
Yeah, you rocked it.
Thank you.
It's funny, last night when I was going to bed, I stayed in the hotel last night because I didn't think I was capable of driving home without killing myself. And just before I fell asleep, Janis Joplin was on TV and it made me think of you.
No, well, that's awesome.
I love Janis. I mean,
yeah, me too.
You know,
She's
just amazing.
Soul powerhouse, soul voice.
Yeah. But make me a promise that you're not going to shoot heroin or overdose or anything.
No, I'm not going to. I don't.
Okay, good. No heroin for you.
I'm good on that.
Good, clean living. How much do you write, and how many songs a year do you typically write?
I have about probably at least 30 songs that I perform regularly. Like, I'm always writing a lot. Like, but half of it, sometimes I'll write a song and then never look at it again.
You will someday.
Or move on to the next one. It's all about catching that fleeting moment. Like, it's sometimes you don't know when a song's going to come to you, but it'll just come out of nowhere, and you gotta go write it down, or you get an idea, or you just hear lyrics in your head.
A voice memo person, or are you more of a write it on paper in a little notebook person?
Sometimes I'll just hear a melody, or I'll hear a melody from nowhere. I'm not really sure where it comes from, but I'll just...
But where do you keep your ideas for the songs so that you don't lose them?
Well, I have, when I write a song, I go to my computer and I write the lyrics out, and then I record the song, whatever I come up with. And then sometimes I'll record it and then I'll listen to it again, and then, I'll record the verse and the chorus, and then I'll go and listen to that over and over again to figure out what the rest of the song is going to be, and then record it again, and then go back and like reference the recordings to add on to what I already have or change something.
Was there anything that you learned at the Road Rally that you felt would really help move you forward in your help you develop your songs faster or more fully, or define your style more closely? Any valuable stuff that you learned that you want to pass along to people watching the show? Because there are thousands of them out there. Like, look at that, thousands of them.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It's actually more like a couple hundred, but
there was so many things that I learned. I've learned so much, and it was...
Well, give it up.
Like things I want to focus on, like as far as the songwriting, I was listening to a lot of the critiques and everything, and getting a lot of good ideas and information on what might work and what might not work with different...
Were you surprised at how helpful the industry people were versus being big, scary, mean industry people?
I felt like everyone was really nice and accommodating and not too far into their egos to talk to you a little, and it was a really great experience, and I feel like I have a good direction to start focusing on and trying to send my music to people. I'd love to get signed to go on tour, and just get your music out there. I just feel like I have something to say, and I want people to hear it.
Right. So you're more desirous, I guess, would be the word. That's my biggest word this week so far. I'm frankly, being as tired as I am after the rally, I'm surprised I could pull that one out of the air. But are you desirous of making records or touring? Which one do you favor, live performance or records?
I really like both, but I'd love to go on tour someday.
Yeah.
But I'd also like to record a real, we have an EP right now, but it took a long time to put it together, and to saving up my pennies to get to the studio, and
So do you have a computer? You do have a computer.
I do.
Why don't you have Pro Tools or Logic or something on the computer so that you can start at least the kernel of the song can come from your brain into your computer, and then don't depend on other people is what I'm trying to say. I know you didn't come here to get advice, but I'm giving you some, because in my mind the road rally's not over, it's still going on. But yeah, don't limit yourself.
And we actually just, our guitarist, he has Logic now, and he did a little bit in school with recording and engineering and stuff, so we are able to do that now.
Great.
Do some of the, and we have been working on that. Just
you should learn yourself as well.
Yes, and
that way you never have to wait for your guitarist.
Yeah, and that was something that I made a big mental note of from the feedback from the rally, and I was like, did
you do one-to-one mentors?
No,
that's right. You couldn't because you're a guest, not a member.
They did let me sit in with the guest.
With the person
for
you
Rob
went.
Chiarelli.
Okay.
And he did get to listen to my song, so that was kind of cool. But I don't think he could say much about it because it wasn't my
right. Your 15 minutes
slot.
Right.
But he did say it sounded good, so I was like, yay.
Awesome.
It wasn't a bad review.
Yeah, he would know. He certainly has a long, glorious history of making hits.
I saw that.
Yeah.
But it's been pretty
he's my best
changer.
He's my best friend, so if you want to give me $100, you can come over and have dinner at our house and meet him.
I could make that happen.
I'm so kidding.
I'm all right with it if
but
you are.
He is my best friend, but
oh, nice.
But I generally don't charge people to meet him.
Yeah. Well, that would be cool.
He's pretty cool. He is very encouraging and very accessible and very down to earth. That's probably his greatest feature. Rob, if you're watching the show, I love you, buddy, and you're very down to earth. Any other questions you have for me? Yeah, you got the whole road rally, well, kind of a little piece of the road rally sitting right next to you. Is there anything that you left the road rally and you didn't have an answer to and thought, gee, I wish I could get an answer from somebody? Here's your moment.
I guess, I'm going to start by joining Taxi. And
good move.
Submitting.
I endorse
I'd like
that.
to submit what I do have.
Yeah.
So that it could get reviewed.
Good idea.
But, I have so many songs and I just want to record all of them.
Yeah.
But limited.
Do you ever record them into a voice memo on your phone or anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have like a little app. So if I hear something or
right.
just make a little recording of it or scratch something on a napkin and then.
I remember thinking you're a pretty good guitar player.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the other night
you.
when you were playing, your right hand is in the pocket. I did notice that you were grooving with a bunch of people on stage, and some singer-songwriters are kind of strummy and they're not really in a pocket. But once you got going up there, you found the pocket and you were jamming with some pretty A-list players.
Thanks.
Out there.
Yeah. I liked the jams and the open mic, and I host stuff like I hosted an open mic at where I live every other week, and it's just fun to get musicians together collaborating and listening to each other, and it's just fun to do collaboration stuff like that.
Oh, great. The road rally's a great place to meet collaborators.
Yeah, it's been overwhelming sensory overload. But it's been great. It's a great experience, and I feel like I have some direction after being here.
Great.
Some major plans about what I can do to move forward.
I bet you're like a lot of people that you were just couldn't wait to get out of there and go home and get busy, right?
Yeah, I've definitely been taking notes and got a lot of work to do when I get home too. So. Are
you driving home tonight?
I am, yes, but I wasn't gonna miss this.
Well, thank you. And
thank you for having me.
I appreciate you staying, and keep the voice memo thing on your phone nearby, and keep your eyes on the road. Have a safe trip, and a pleasure meeting you.
All right, nice.
Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Nowak Jaris, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye. Well, there you go, folks. Let's see who's in the chat room. I'm going to say a quick hi to you guys. I'm actually going to end the show a little early tonight. That's it, right? We have no more guests? So I'm not going to go for another 21 minutes because I got to be honest with you. I am so brain dead. I worked about 90 days straight getting ready for the road rally, and I don't know why, but I keep waking up at like 4:53 or 5:53 in the morning, and I am just absolutely toasted. So, hey, Fen, how are you, buddy? He was sitting directly behind me at the road rally last night. Are you back home already? Edmund Red, hey, how are you? Anyway, yeah, the road rally was awesome. I don't mean to sound full of myself or conceited or anything, because really it's not about me, but when I got in my car to leave the office and drive to the hotel Wednesday night, because I always go the night before so we can jump right on set up on Thursday morning, I remember getting in my car, and as soon as I got on the 101 freeway, I thought, we've got this. This road rally is going to be awesome. And I am so happy. First of all, my staff was spectacularly good. When I'm in the ballroom moderating the panels, I don't want staff members coming in and telling me about little things that are going wrong all over the place, because I've got to stay focused. I want to be in the moment and build a rapport with my guests on stage so that I can ask them the right questions in the right way at the right time. And I think only once in 3.5 days and like 17 panels did I even hear about any sort of problem going on, and the staff handled it beautifully. Jonathan Cain was our honoree for a Lifetime Achievement Award. The guy was spectacularly good. Wow, I cannot even begin to tell you how many people came up to me and said, thank you for having him. He was so inspirational. And the guy, I think, is one of the best melody writers that's, in modern music. He just has a gift for melody. Let's see what else. Oh, I interviewed Ken Caillat, which is, it's Colby's dad, but to me, he is the man who co-produced Fleetwood Mac's seminal album Rumors, and then did Tusk and Mirage and The Chain and just all kinds of Fleetwood Mac stuff. But I kind of grew up in the industry working at equivalent high-level studios back around the same. He was a few years ahead of me, but we same time. And there were things I always wanted to ask him about making the Rumors record, and I was so delighted. I was out of my skin, excited to get him on the stage, and we turned the lights down in the ballroom, and we put some popcorn out so that we probably had like 500 or 600 people watching it. And I just had this conversation with him where we would play a song. Oftentimes he would bring up here's the snare drum, here's the guitar track, here's the harmony vocals, here's Lindsay's solo. And then we would go back and listen to the whole song from top to bottom. And the twinkle in his eye up there on the stage, he was loving it. He's a very humble guy. And I think he was a little trepidatious to do it. He didn't know what to expect. I said, Ken, you just got to trust me. We're becoming friends. I will not let you down. And we had such a great rapport up there. But more than anything, I'm just so proud of him. I'm incredibly proud of the work that he did on that record, because it's a great record. Go back and listen to Rumors and listen super, super, super carefully to it. And you will hear things in there, just layers upon layers. But everything is in its place. It's all just neat and tucked in perfectly, but yet the record has so much life and so much spirit. I think it's one of the greatest records ever made, and I'm honored and thrilled that I got to interview the man who made that record. And hopefully I told him as we ended the road rally, when I was not ended the road rally, but ended our panel together, walked him out to his car, and I said, next year we're going to do producing Colby Caillat, because he did produce her records. And I've actually met Colby before, so maybe we can get Colby to join us and we can do a father-daughter thing on stage. I think that would be kind of cool. So let me read a couple comments from the chat room, then we're going to call it a night. David Zimmer says, big fat thanks to you and everyone on your staff, Michael. Well, thank you, David. Appreciate that. Let's see. What an awesome road rally this year. Taxi is the real deal. Hey, Jay, how are you, buddy? Justin Mather, it was magical, Michael. Thank you so much. Well, thank you for the record. He brought me some Neil Young vinyl. Taxi rocks. Man, now I have to buy that on vinyl. Need to repair our multiplex because it isn't playing our LPs anymore. Da, 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 da. Best weekend ever. Eric B says, I agree that Rumor is one of his desert island records. So that's it, folks. I'm cross-eyed tired, and I am going to head home. Also, if you have any questions about this year's road rally, go ahead and put them in the comments. And I'm going to try really hard this week while things are still fresh in my mind to answer your questions in the comment area. So go right when we get off the air, just put those babies in there, and I will personally answer them by the end of this week. And I believe that next week, we haven't totally inked this yet, but talked to him early this morning, and pretty sure we're going to do it. We're going to have legendary record producer Michael Lloyd join us next week for an exciting episode of Taxi TV. So with that said, I'm going to fire up the band. Doesn't get any better than that, does it? And see you guys next week for another exciting episode of Taxi TV Live. Bye, you guys.